Yeah, dun 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 dun.
Where are they? There they are. You're late. Seats, please. Let us officially... Let us officially convene the Wednesday Night Psychological Society. Gentlemen, coincidentally, our first rendezvous since my wedding. Thank you. Though a new woman rules my roost, I ponder, where would I be without my own mother, from whom I inherited elsewhere Manor? She passed her golden years here in this ward, while she rapidly declined in dementia, wandering around at all hours of the night, smothered in her own defecation. Oh, I was inspired then. My work's finest hour, the female delusion and hysteria. My dear departed mother would be proud. It was her dying wish to see me married. What was I about to say? I was about to say something. Ah, yes. You see, my wife, she has a child. The spousal duty makes mine. Upon his admittance, I took the boy aside, locked the door behind, sat him upon my couch, and briefed him thus. Let me condense this down into a theory Darwin would laud. Your father drowned. The strong survive, the weak aren't promised life. Thus thy begetter, not fit for this world, and better off whither he is gone now. Furthermore, no, your father lost a father. That father lost his. I too lost mine. I'd say such engagement of your depression reveals a will most incorrect to manhood. 'Twas here I found he ruffled at the thought and took the pains to record it. Cast off this narcissistic woe and think of us as of a father. My wife, his mother, lives almost by his looks. And for myself, my virtue or my plague, be it either which. For your intent in going back to school for textile arts, 'tis most retrograde to our desire, hardly a career befitting a young man. And we beseech you, bend you to remain here in the cheer and comfort of our eye, our chiefest convalescent, and her son, our son. In truth, I found that fatherhood profoundly impacts my work, well, its lack of. Now, for ourselves, in this time of meeting, I won't be taking further questions, but I pray thou lend thine eyes to watch the night, thy hands to help the ward run until morn, and report back to me as you deem fit. Well, I can't pay for this task, I'll assure. Your willingness is all, and won't unnoticed go. Greatness was never achieved but on the backs of those below who sacrificed their own. Now, more matter with less art. Let the waltz commence. I'll check back in shortly. Oh, yeah. See what they got. What have you, my good friends,
deserved at the hands of fortune that she sends you to prison hither. Though there be couches, elsewhere Manor is a prison. Beggar that I am even poor in spirit, and as the proverb goes, when the world's grown honest, then is doomsday near. Ergo stand I to inherit said world, a goodly one, in which there are many wards, confines, and dungeons, elsewhere being one of the worst. Fret not, for I will not sort you with the rest of my nurses, for to speak to you like an honest man, I am most dreadfully attended. So what is your affair in elsewhere? Perhaps you came to see the double bill, my father's funeral and my mother's wedding. Mother shall relish this final remembrance. I've just retrieved this from the coroner's. My father's coat, God rest his soul. I'll fit it her, with a few minor adjustments, of course, made here and here. What's this? He reads double indemnity. Ooh, my father's insurance policy. Here's the fine print. Signee's heir is provided with payment 2 times the face value in the case of accidental death. Signed by the doctor. Burn out the sense, scold heat, dry up my brains. My mother married the executor of my dead father's policy to lie in the rank sweat of an inseamed bed, stewed in corruption, honeying and making love over the nasty sty. Woo, let me not fantasize. He's handsome, I'll grant him, but behind that charm a viper's nest resides. He consummated this policy, double fucking indemnity. Oh, that the everlasting had not fixed his canon against castration. Oh, God. God. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Fie, 'tis an unweeded garden that grows the seed. Things rank and gross in nature possess it merely, that it should come to this. Plus, all the money paid them, I've seen none. No, not a spare cent's worth his only son. Now that I think. The coroners concluded. He hit his head, fell in, but couldn't tread in water 3 feet deep. Fools all. Does no one know? Or maybe those that do keep their mouths closed. They e'en said when his fingernails were scrubbed, they found their sand. He scraped up from the bottom as if he struggled then. Examination time. But break my heart. Examination time. For I must hold my tongue. Examination time. Examination time. This place is luxury. All these amenities, once long desired, now generously heaped. With numerous chambers to get lost exploring, I've spent a fortnight and ne'er seen a soul. My first husband was passionately rich. He liked his drink, but good Lord, could he fuck. Between us grew a void, living miserly strict. My new one now knows how to treat the lady. With champagne, diamonds, a room of one's own. Still, why do men always air blatant flaws that make it so damn hard-pressed to move past? I'm sure you've heard the spiel. Just one more lecture on psychosexual blah blah, I'll scream. But is a lady forgiving and couth? I'll show restraint before I publicly air our bedsheets. I mean, we're at his age. The heyday in the blood is tame. It's impotent. Yet, his accoutrement dispels my reticence, all's trivial when I observe my palace. I must remind myself from whence I came, for whilst I loathe his touch, I love my privacy.
Madam, come, fetch me forth a soup of liquor. We'll have a song straight, and then try our hands at intercourse.
I'll confess, hate and love holds quantity in neither aught or in extremity. Where love is great, the littlest hates are near. Where little hates grow great, great love grows there.
When I did love, methought it was very sweet. Where has she gone to now? Oh.
Look! I can't stand thinking what's done on this couch.
How could he lay hands, lips, or any other part on an old crow with a leather complexion? I could see him with one in years much younger. Maybe a woman more of my complexion. Never spoken to the dead before, but since the living won't, I'll cast the die. I only hope this incantation works. Thoughts twist, hands fist, plots thick, and time agreeing. Conspiracy theorists, else no creature seeing. These couplets ring infernal bells, reflected. With Hecate's ban, thrice blasted, thrice infected. Thy natural magic and dire property, unwholesome lies expose immediately. I've brought you back my father's overcoat. The last remains when he fell off the boat. They say what's done is done, the point is moot, but if you're near and can hear, tell me the truth. Who's there? Nay, answer me. Stand and unfold yourself. Be thou a spirit of health or a goblin damned, thou comest at such an appropriate plot point that I will speak to thee. I'll call thee Papa.
Pity me not, but lend thy serious hearing to what I shall unfold. I am thy father's spirit, doomed for certain term to walk the night, and for the day confined to steep in waters till the mistakes made in my days of nature are cleansed and washed away. Whilst I'm reduced to myth, a fucking thematic device, my kill escapes scot-free, so listen close. The things that seem aren't all they claim to be. Something is rotten on the estate of elsewhere. If thou dost ever thy dear father love, revenge his foul and most unnatural murder. 'Tis given out that, falsely might I add, there is a willow grows aslant a brook that shows his hoar leaves in the glassy stream. That with fantastic tackle did I fish when down my scaly trophies and myself fell in the weeping brook. My clothes spread wide and mermaid like a while they bore me up. My fish chums swum round me, then fled downstream, till that said garments, heavy with their drink, pulled the poor wretch with fatigue like millstones to muddy death. Don't be so gullible. The millstone that did sink thy father's life now claims and tops his wife, that phony quack, with witchcraft of his wits and traitorous gifts, so to seduce one to a shameful lust, the will of my most seeming virtuous spouse, who seat herself on a cerebral couch and prey on garbage, damned whore. I digress. Thus was I drowned by a doctor's hand. 'Tis nigh the morning tide, blunt let me be. If thou hast lenience in thee, bear it not, and thy effeminate ways leave behind.
Sorry.
Revenge my death, you are my only hope. But howsoever thou pursues this act, taint not thy mind, nor let thy soul contrive against thy mother aught. I'll handle her. Adieu, my only son. Remember me. Remember thee? Aye, poor Papa. Whilst memory holds a seat in this distracted globe, I swear a man I'll be. Ah! So, Doctor, there you are. Swear it. I have sworn it. How say you then? What heart of man once think it, but you'll be secret? Give me one poor request. Nay, but swear it. Okay. Never make known what you have seen tonight. Never to speak of this, so help you mercy. How strange or odd some'er I might bear myself, as I, perchance, hereafter shall think fit to put an antic disposition on, that you, at such times seeing me, never shall with arms encumbered thus, or by this head shake, or by pronouncing of some doubtful phrase, such as, well, we know, or we could, and if we would, or such ambiguous giving out to note that you know aught of me, this not to do. So grace and mercy at your most need help you. Pinky swear it. Pinky swear it. The time is out of joint, O cursed spite, that ever I was born to set it right. Shit! Ow!
Neurosis. Neurosis? Or is it neurosi? How do I spell for erotic? Erotic. Newly erotic. No, that's not it. Newton's got my balls in a vice. That's not it. Put it together, Freddy boy. Be logical. Neurosis is the new no. It's the new currency. Sexual repression. Yeah. Sexual repression. Yeah. Yes, brilliant. Brilliant. Atta boy, Freddy boy. Cup of tea, how about that? Sounds good to me.
Mother? Mommy! Mama! This home is hell. I had some peace and quiet. Instead, I settle to then again start like Artemis. Bathing in the woods, I'm spy. Lightning strikes twice. A plot so sly 'tis art. A game we'll play I dub my hunted heart. Although they've crept up on me with bows bent, the hounds will track only the hunter's scent. Why do I keep on rhyming? 'Tis not good conjuring spirits thus. How ill all's here about my heart. Nay, but it is no matter. I have some antacids about me somewhere. Where was I? Yes, hunted heart. What I mean is, the fetishes I'll turn against them both. Lately the doctor iterates old myths to his prized colleagues. While he gasses on, I pretend not to listen and knit quietly, but not a single phrase escapes my faculty. A favorite fantasy of his I'll exploit. Aye, and thou rant as well as thou. Let's say, I tricked them all into believing that which they want to come true has come true. It's not a lie then, but an opportunity to sway the doctor to exert some puissance and occupy my son with something other then irritating me. That will teach them. Alas, my lord. 'Tis not so. Begins with, alas, doctor, my son, as I was sewing in my chamber, barges in with his trousers all unbraced, and with a look so ravenous in purport, as if he had been loosed out of hell to rack up horrors. He comes before me. He took me by the wrist and held me hard, and with his other hand thus o'er my mouth, forced to my lips for a pair of reechy kisses, pinched wanton on my cheek, called me his mouse, while paddling on my neck with his damned fingers. At last, a little quivering of his member, he raised a sigh so piteous and profound, that it did seem to shatter all his bulk and end his being. That come, he lets me go, with his head over his shoulder turned. He seemed to find his way without his eyes, for out the doors he went without the help, and to the last bended their light on me. To jealousy second husband be led, when he conceives that my son kisses me instead.
My dear colleagues, I have reason to believe this mad young man is in love with his mother. 'Twas told me he hath very oft of late given private time to her, and she herself, divided from herself and her fair judgment, have of her audience been most free and bounteous. In my past lectures, something have you heard of the Oedipal complex, so I call it. His father's death, the catalyst, hath kindled repressed attraction to his mother. I entreat that you vouchsafe your rest here in our clinic, and stand a comma between their amities some little time more. Through careful surveillance, let's collect further evidence, and meantime I, his commission, will forthwith dispatch, and he to England, where the foremost surgeon shall cure him vis-a-vis lobotomy.
Like an ape an apple in the corner of its jaw, first mouthed to be last swallowed, lobotomy.
Take this from this, if this be otherwise, if circumstances lead me, I will find where truth is hid, though it were hid indeed within the cortex. It now remains that we find out the cause of this effect, or rather say the cause of this defect, for this effect defective comes by cause. One final statement before I depart. I had assumed his disinteresting girls meant he's anal neurotic. Ipso facto, which proves he covets my role with his mother. I could take fault or blame him for misleading. By Einstein, it is as proper to our IQs to cast beyond ourselves in our opinions as it is common for the lesser sort to lack discretion. We shall devise foolproof prevention of further harms done by this mad young man. As you were.
He bought it. Hook, line, and sinker like a greedy fishmonger. Clearly my son likes women for their clothing. something musty, but the proverb goes, we see but only what we'd wish it be. I shall the effect of this good lesson keep, as watchman to my heart, to reward the doctor, my finest dress all done, and wear to dinner. The two of us shall share a romantic evening again. Aha, come some music. For if the doctor likes to comedy, my bet he'll love a little bit of foreplay.
Sweet for the sweet, sweet, sweet. Tomorrow is St. Valentine's Day, all in the morning time. And I am waiting at your window to see your Valentine. Then I'll be rolling on my clothes and open the chamber door. Let in the maid that's out of May, never departed more. The mouth is the front there in the poo, a lacking five for shame. Young men will do it if they come to it. By clock they are sweet, sweet, sweet. Before you promise me to wear. Sweet for the sweet. So would I Sweet for the sweet, sweet, sweet.
I wish he'd fix the electric in this old dump.
Conceit in weakest bodies, strongest works.
Hi-dee-ho, to the doctor's chamber I go. Hi-dee-ho, to the doctor's chamber I go. Do it, I pray. The readiness is all. The special providence in the fall of a sparrow. A little ere the mightiest Julius fell, the grave stood tenantless, and the sheeted dead did squeak and bubble in the Roman streets. Its stars with trains of fire and dews of blood, disasters in the sun and the moist star, upon whose influence Neptune's empire stands, was sick, almost to doomsday with eclipse, his prologue to the omens coming. Whoa, what's that? A wishing well. Well, I'll cast a wish.
My excellent good friend.
My excellent good friend.
How dost thou?
And how dost thou?
And how dost thou?
And how dost thou?
Let me see.
I have it. Is the indifferent children of the earth happy? And that we are not over happy. On fortune's cap, we are not the very button, or the soles of her shoe. No. We live about her waist, or in the middle of her favors. Faith. Her privates, we, in the secret parts of fortune. Friend, were to speak to you like an honest person in the way of friendship. Were you not sent for? Is it a free visitation? Come. Deal justly with me, anything, but to the purpose. You were sent for, and there is a kind of confession in your looks, which your modesties have not craft enough to color. I know the doctor has sent for you, and I will tell you why. So shall my anticipation prevent your discovery and your secrecy. Shh. To the doctor, mote no feather. Upon his couch, I let something slip indeed. It goes so heavily with my disposition that this goodly frame, the earth, seems to me a sterile laboratory. What a piece of work is a man. A prison. Within a prison, within a prison, within a prison.
How noble.
Within a prison, within a prison, within a prison.
How expressive.
Oh God.
And admirable.
I could be bounded in a nutshell and count myself king of infinite space.
The beauty of the
Were
world.
it not that I have bad dreams.
And to me,
What is this quintessence of dust? Man delights not me.
No, not woman either.
Well, not all do. I have particular tastes.
Now.
Even now, I'd make an exception. You do bar the door upon your own liberty if you deny your griefs to your friend. If you love me, hold not off.
What I should say, what is it ye would see? If aught of woe or wonder, cease your search, and let me speak to the yet unknowing world of my dear father's mysterious death, how my own mother won't talk to me now, large sums of money, and unnatural acts fallen on the inventors' heads, all this can I truly deliver. Let us haste to hear it. Season your admiration for a while.
I will love and honor you all the days of my life, from this day forward, to have and to hold, in sickness and in health, for richer or poor, for better or worse, till death do us part.
Amen. But look how cheerfully my mother looks, and my father died within 2 hours.
Nay, 'tis twice 2 months, my lord.
Died 2 months ago, and not forgotten yet. Cudgel thy brains.
Fie, 'tis a fault to heaven, a fault against the dead, a fault to nature, to reason most absurd.
Thou playest not well. For though I am not splentative and rash, yet have I something in me dangerous, which let thy wiseness fear. Give every man thy tongue. Give every man thy tongue. Give thy thoughts no tongue, nor any unproportioned thought thy act. Give every man thine ear, but few thy voice. 'Tis in my memory locked, sir. Beware of entering into a quarrel, but being in it, bear it that the opposed might beware of thee. And this above all, to thine own self be true. And it then follows, as the night the day, thou canst not then be false to any man. Less more mischance on plots and errors happen. Friend, you are welcome. But my doctor father and lover mother are deceived. I am but mad, northwest, when the wind southerly, I know a hawk from a handsaw.
Oh, shit.
So close to victory, so far from cheer. Like an eclipse, I've plunged into regret. What I'd meant to be momentous ulcers alter, and quickly film over elation in my heart's core. I, in my heart of hearts, and I, of ladies most dejected, wretched, that sucked the honey of his music vows, blasted with ecstasy. Oh, woe is me. I'll fret not till I pour another glass.
Well now, woman, hast thou forgot me? Widow, thou hast thy husband much offended.
Spirit, you have my husband much offended. Science will never acknowledge life after death.
Come, you answer with an idle tongue.
Go, ghost, you question with the wicked tongue.
So, Martha, you think you can rid yourself of me and marry my shrink?
Here we go again, George. You always want to bring up the
Is that why
past.
you sent me to him in the first
I
place?
sent you to him because you were impossible to live
Gave
with.
you a damn good life, you opportunistic
Good
whore.
for nothing, drunk.
Bitch.
Big dick bastard.
Once faithful wife, restrain that wicked tongue. Used to love these hands as they caress, nay, then I'll set those to you that constrain. Ah!
What wilt thou do? Thou wilt not murder me? Now I am alone. How all occasions do inform against me and spur my dull revenge. What is a man if his chief good and market of his time be but to sleep and feed? A beast, no more. To grunt and sweat under a weary life. Imperial Caesar, dead and turned to clay, might bung a hole to keep the wind away.
nature, he that made us, gave us not this capability and godlike reason, refreshing us on news. No. Whether it be we are born, or rather created this way. To be or not to be, that is the question. Since nature cannot choose its origin, by day is day, night night, and time is time. So often chances in particular men by indirections find directions that disregard the currents turn awry. Changeling, never known. I do not know. I do not know why yet I live to say this things to do, that I have cause and will and strength and means to do it. It warms the very sickness of my heart that I shall live and tell him to his teeth, thus didst thou. But yet it's sickening to kill my darling. How stand I then? That have a father drowned, a mother stained, and long for him I should obliterate. Inside divided, outward I stand no chance. God, from this time forth, my deeds be manly or be nothing worth. A man may fish with the worm that hath eat of a shrink. Read the fish that hath fed of that worm. Thus a shrink may go of progress through the guts of a beggar. Under such, I've lost my appetite. From now on, I eat of the air. Promise crammed. I'm at a loss, dear sirs. He knows the rules. Cleanliness is godliness. Dirty dishes go and sink. What might you think? Can you, by no drift of circumstance, get from him why he puts on this confusion, grating so harshly all his days of quiet with turbulent and dangerous lunacy? Next time our paths cross, I'll lay into him. Tell him his pranks have been too broad to bear with. Look where sadly the poor wretch returns. I'll from the arras stand and watch to call more information from him unbeknownst. Madness in the lower class must not unwatched go. Oh.
Words, words, words. For the satirical rogue says here, girls envy the penis, experiencing a consequential wish that they too should be boys. But boys face severe internal struggles, whilst the lost penis of their mothers play a great part in the formation of many perversions. Additionally, in all the neurotics, without exception, we find a fixation of libido on persons of the same sex. These tedious old fools. Furthermore, that old men have gray beards and dim wits, together with most weak hams and soiled diapers. Whew! The latter which, though I most powerfully and potently believe, yet I hold it not modesty to have it set down. Now might I do it. Now he is espying. Now, if it be now, 'tis not to come. If it be not to come, it will be now. If Be not now, yet it will come. Yet I'd caress him as soon as kill him. The myriad places I'd run that beard. Fuck boy shit! Fine! I'd gouge my eyes, except I can't, because I'm pigeon-livered and lack balls. They either call me faggot, why I should take it. Mom, go away! I will come by and by. By and by is easily said. By and by is easily said. And we're better my mother had not borne me.
We're better my mother had not borne me.
Poor orphan, cast thy nighted colour off, and let thine eye look like a friend on elsewhere. Thou knowest 'tis common, all that lives must die, passing through nature to eternity. Aye, so you see. And as such, if it be, why seems it so particular with thee? Seems, madam, though I sew, I know not seams. 'Tis not alone my inky cloak, good mother, though customary suits of solemn black, together with all forms, moods, shapes of grief, that can denote me truly. These indeed seem, for their actions that a man might play. Ah, why, what an ass am I? This is most brave. That I, the son of a dear father murdered, must, like a critic, vent my heart with words. I'll show the actions that a man might play. Well played, old man. Well played. I have heard that guilty creatures sitting at the play have by the very cunning of the scene been struck so to the soul that presently they have proclaimed their malpractice. For murder, that would have no tongue, will speak with most miraculous organ. I'll leverage misdiagnosis to gather them, then play something like the murder of my father before my physic. Will observe his looks and beat him to the punch. If he but flinch, I know my course. The ghost that I have seen may be the devil, yea, and perhaps abuses me to damn me. It plays the thing wherein will catch the conscience of the shrink. Too much of water hast thou, poor orphan. Give me your pardon, son. I've done you wrong, but pardon it as you are a gentleman. Here, in my heart, there was a kind of fighting that would not let me sleep. Lord, we know what we are, but know not what we may be. Break not your sleeps for that. All may be well. I'll go back here and rest. Apologies, I left you here alone. Suddenly, brilliance struck me, and I hurried down to jot it down on paper whilst I had it. I've established my thesis. Here it goes. His mother, being chaste as snow, rejects his fresh advances. That hath made him mad. And he repulsed a short tale to make. Fell into a sadness, then into a fast, thence to a watch, thence to a weakness, thence to a lightness, and by this declension into hysteria, where now he raves. I suffered something near this in my youth. This is the very ecstasy of love, whose violent property foredoes itself and leads the will to desperate undertakings as oft as any neurosis under heaven. Laissez-faire says, no, I went round to work, and my young mistress, thus I did bespeak. Hold it fashioned and toy in blood, no more, perhaps he loves you now. But weigh what loss your honor may sustain if with due credent ear you list his songs, or lose your heart, or chase treasure open to his unmastered lust. So you must fear his illness weighed, his will is not his own, for he himself is subject to his birth. Oedipus kills his father, then beds his mother. Now, only science can save him from himself. What's this? Know you the hand? Dear doctor father and lover mother. It's an ill phrase, a vile phrase.
Admittedly, my naked wits aren't right. Naked is his character. However, I've much to say and entreat you both to hear a play this night. I'll play before you private in your bedroom if it pleases you both. Signed, no one, whilst this machine is to him. Then he drew a diagram. I think this a marvelous endeavor. They say art reveals the undercarriage of the soul. Set a light both on thee and my case study. Sweet wife, have you heard? She's overjoyed her son will soon be cared, and it doth much content me. Gentlemen, pray you join us three in the bedroom. It's the only way to draw his pleasure out. Well, suppose we'll find out tonight, and then I'll be done with my book.
It was midnight, the moon was full. I stood under it in my nightgown, looking at the forest, sleeping on either side of me like bodies. I walked out into the woods until I saw a bonfire glowing in the distance and found an ugly hag boiling stew at a cauldron. I sat down across from her. Just then, she looked to me like my dead mother. I began to cry, telling her all of the sins I had ever committed till sand started to pour out of my mouth. She said I was cursed, it was idiotic to confess to the occult, but since I've come thus far, I best fill a pot with rabbit guts and bury it, and in 9 months return. I said, why? She said, 'cause. I said, why? She said, 'cause. I said, fine. I dragged off a bushel of bunnies and wrung them into a mason jar and dug in the moist topsoil barehanded till it was sufficiently deep. I went home and slept. In 9 months, I returned to find a baby nestled in the dirt. I took him home and nursed him. But as he got older, he began to sing like a raven and clicked his wicked fingers, picking the flesh off my cheeks to my teeth. Always shone a wicked smile, even when my jaw was wrenched shut. So I drugged the raven boy and dragged him back to the woods. I found the hag. She said I had what I wanted. I began to cry again. She said, enough. Pickle the boy's fingers, genitals, tongue, and heart, and bury it beneath the new moon. Which I did, using a butter knife and a potting shovel. I returned home just before dawn to look in the mirror. The dream itself is but a shadow. The dream itself is but a shadow. The dream itself is but a shadow. The dream itself is but a
Fantastic vehicles, fantastic vehicles for decay, fantastic vehicles for decay, fantastic vehicles, fantastic vehicles, fantastic vehicles for decay, fantastic vehicles for decay.
Let me smile. Yippee. Let me smile and smile at the other way. At least I'm sure maybe so in psychoanalysis. Touches. Kindness. One may smile and smile and be a villain. At least I'm sure maybe so in psychoanalysis. Though I drown, I found that fountain does not quite exist as I'd wished. Basic men born anonymous, living within irrelevancy, meant to be worm fodder, awaiting the inevitable second death when no one speaks your name no more yet. We all have illusions, like children's illustrations, golden figures on pedestals, elevated couches. How quickly the veneer washes off when you paw at it every day. All my days I have withered, I have wasted. A whole life searching, left with my fists full of lint, grasping at the darkness. Before me is a cloak fit with righteous sights and worldly gains, whilst now the howls reach my ears and I am awake. I've laid me down to sleep the last time, mumbling beneath my breath, God, I'm special, right? No more mornings, merely mists meandering home to the nursery, and a veil of pinkish red and unwritten letters to my son. And sons of sons of and sons of and sons and sons and sons and sons. Fuck. Not again. Do not come your tardy son to chide. The lapsed in time and passion, let's go by the important acting of your dread command.
Thus poetry doth make cowards of us all. Faggot, was your father dear to you? Or are you like the painting of a sour?
A face without a heart. That we should do what we would, for this wood changes, and then the should is like a dreamless sigh that once awake beneath its own denial is paralyzed. What would you undertake to show yourself your father's son indeed? More than in words. Pick up your weapon, boy. Ow, Papa, stop it, that hurts, please. Why, look you there. Look how it steals away. Mom, look, it's Papa. I swear I'm not neurodivergent. Lay not that flattering comfort to your soul that not your trespass, but my illness speaks.
Marvelous, marvelous, absolutely marvelous. Via the grieving process, he makes me his vehicle for death and takes his father's place. He hears voices in the air, speaks things in doubt that carry but half sense. His speech is nothing, yet the unshaped use of it doth move the hearers to collection. They aim at it, and botched his words are fit to their own thoughts, which is his winks and nods and gestures yield them indeed would make one think there might be thought. Though nothing sure, yet much unhappily, thus set it down, he shall with speed to England, he shall recover his wits there, or if he do not, 'tis no great matter there. There the men are as mad as he. Happily restraints, conversion, therapy with variable treatment shall expel this something settled matter in his heart, whereon his brain still beating puts him thus from fashion of himself. I must say this will bear a scintillating discourse, and I do believe I have the evidence needed to prove the first Oedipus complex. For my own poor part, I must go and write with impetus still fresh within my mind. Await his transport, please.
That was my husband. Look you now, what follows, this is my husband, a bumbling old fool. Like a woman to double business bound, I stand and pause where I shall first begin and both neglect. What if this cursed hand were thicker than itself with husband's blood? Is there not rain enough in the sweet heavens to wash it white as snow? Then I'll look up. My fault is past. But, oh, what form of prayer can serve my turn? Forgive me my foul murder. I killed my husband for his insurance policy, and then I seduced his doctor to pin the deed on him and take his money too. That cannot be, since I am still possessed of those effects for which I did the murder. Furthermore, I'd rid myself of my child so I could live my life's last years guilt-free. May one be pardoned and retain the offense? Try what repentance can, what can it not? Yet what can it when one cannot repent? I repent nothing, but that I was sloppy. And with the past undone, I do it all again.
Fantastic vehicles for the fantastic vehicles for decay.
Will you play upon this pipe? I'd beseech you, it is as easy as lying. Govern these ventages with your fingers and thumb. Give it breath with your mouth, and it will discourse most eloquent music. Look you, these are the stops.
Oh, why look you now, how unworthy a thing you would make of me. You would play upon me, you would seem to know my stops, you would pluck out the heart of my mystery, you would sound me from my lowest note to the top of my compass.
And there is much music. Excellent voice in this little organ. Yet cannot you make it speak?
Do you think I am easier to be played on than a pipe? Call me what instrument you will. Though you can fret me, you cannot play upon me. The cat will mew and dog will have its day.
How now, a rat? Take that. No, not there, my boy. No. Malpractice has turned itself on me. Lord, here I lie. Why is the wood in my own spring horse? With all my glory unfinished, I am guiltless in thy father's death. In murder. She's complete.
I love you. All's golden words are spent. Adieu, my lord. Now for my son.
Good night, sweet prince.
Fantastic vehicles for decay.
One woe doth tread upon another's heel. Seems that everyone's had opportunity to share my story but me. I'll confirm. There is a willow grows aslant the brook. The dusk's dim light disguised me, for I struck. He floated when I knocked him off the shore with a blunt blow to his skull. I knelt down. In my grasp, iridescent bubbles rose. His life escaped, just like a string of pearls, tickling my forearms as they left his lungs. There's a divinity that shapes our ends. Refuse them how we will. The coroners, I paid them off too. Said he had a natural death. If thou couldst ever hold me in thy heart,
absent thee from accuracy a while, to tell my story, all this loss I've borne, brave widow, one whom hath buried 2 husbands, alongside my only beloved son. I'm a survivor. That's what thou shalt say. There's rosemary for remembrance. Pray you, love, remember. There's a pansy. That's for thoughts. Here's some rue for you, and here's some for me. You must wear your rue with a difference. There's a daisy. I can give you some violets, but they withered all with this death business. Right then. Having shown dutiful observancy, I must to Aruba and nurse my sorrows on an island resort to peace and quiet. The rest is silence. All right. Let's get a few things straight before we go our own way, shall we? Lady finds our number, needs a service done. She says, I want my husband drawn. He says, no problem. Cement shoes fit all kind of sizes. She says, nah, I want it to look natural. I says, that's extra. She says, no problem. But can I pay full after? I says, Mrs., can I pay full after? You want it done, and done right, you get us full up front door. Ergo, upon cash transfer, you go on your merry fucking way. And if you can keep your cake hole quiet, never hear from us again. Easy peasy, lemon fucking squeezy. Shit, size too small. Told you, I got big hands. Did a couple of these gigs a week for like 10 years now. Try to tell my wife, the funny thing about this job is that afterwards, it's never about the person who died. It's always about the money. And sometimes you gotta do a 2 for 1. No muss, no fuss. Hey, it's kind of nice telling my story. Quick joke for you. Who builds stronger than a mason, a shipwright, or carpenter? A late-stage capitalist. Cash rules everything, am I right? And nothing lingers longer than infinite debt. All right. Hey, kid, scram, I hit her with a poison thingamabob, so get the fuck out of here before I change my mind. Lucky bastard. Just remember, you saw nothing, you heard nothing. We got eyes everywhere.